I mean, we're live. We're going. It's not letting me record. Anytime I hit recording, it says failed to connect to streaming server. Please check your internet connection. Very weird. So yeah, I'll just have to get it off Kick later. How the hell are you, Mr. Misek? Hey, normal. No, no. Oh, goodness. 2 whole weeks. I'm good. I'm good. Hold on. You may not be live. Testing 1 2. Testing. Yeah, hello. Oh, yeah. There we go. For some reason, there you are. For some reason, OBS is being a pain in the ass. All right, now you're live. How the hell are you? God
I feel
damn.
like fucking shit, man.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Hey, look. Garrett.
I do feel a lot less like.
Patch. Go make him one.
Who wants a Shadow Flamed armor patch?
Garrett does.
He can fucking buy one off the auction house.
Oh, god damn. Okay. Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while. 2 weeks. Over 2 weeks. A lot's happened in 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's been an exciting couple weeks. I've been sick as shit. You've been off getting your dick sucked. You know how it is.
I've had pretty good couple of weekends. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
yeah.
better than goddamn.
It's been good, and hopefully it keeps continuing to be good. But oh goodness, all right. There's a lot been going on, man. We missed a lot. I missed AOTC.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're off getting your dick sucked.
Feels bad. Feels good, but feels bad.
I mean, that's okay. We'll get it again for you this week.
Yeah. I'll be back this week. Yeah, for sure. Oh goodness. All right, looking at the news first thing. Fortified and Corporal Sanguine this week. Fun. All right. What sounds like a blast this week.
Yeah. Everybody loves that new incorporeal.
Incorporeal, or however it's stupid.
Yeah. Everybody loves it because who doesn't love something where you can try and throw out a trap to trap the thing, and if you don't trap the thing, then things get fucked, and you probably wipe the entire goddamn group. But oh look, there's a fucking rat. There's a rat in the way. It ran across the thing, and now you're fucked. Have fun. I mean, come on.
Spawns inside a building and freehold, or behind something to where you can't throw a trap on it. Or
exactly. It's
stupid. It's a horrible design.
Yeah, I mean, I understand where they were trying to go with it. I do, but it's just one of those really common things that happens with like 95% of Blizzard's designs, where they're like, "Hey, this would be really cool," and you're like, "Yeah, that would be really cool," but you didn't think about like 90% of this other shit that completely interferes with it for like several classes, and then you didn't consider that this dungeon wasn't built for it, and now you've got shit spawning like in the fucking roof, and like, well,
it's ridiculous.
The fuck are you supposed to do about that?
We're starting off with on a positive note. Yay.
Well, you know me, I'm always fucking positive.
I haven't seen a whole lot of positive news, to be honest with you. I'm pretty skeptical of a lot of this stuff getting ready to happen. So we've got what, 2 weeks for 10.1.5?
Yeah, about that. What is it? The 11th that it's coming out? July 11th?
13th, I think.
Oh, 13th.
No,
Oh,
11. No, you're right. 11th.
I was gonna
Yes.
say the 11th
11th.
is the Tuesday there,
Yeah.
and usually that's when it is.
Yeah. You're right. The 11th. So, all right. We
It,
got
it,
2 weeks for
it's not
that.
exciting you yet.
No. Should I be excited?
I don't know.
Mega Dungeon, maybe?
I'm seeing stuff and I just don't know how to feel about it. Right?
That's how I
Like
am.
I like the lore stuff. I'm a big lore buff. Lore is really cool to me. I know it's not for everybody. I know it, like you generally aren't big on lore.
No,
Um,
it's not my forte. No.
yeah, but I like the lore stuff. I like the fact that they're gonna do that whelp daycare thing. I think that's something nice and casual for people that like collecting pets and go, "Ooh, that's the cutest thing ever." I like that. Um, when it comes to the actual stuff coming down the pipes, I don't know. I am op I am optimistic about the new evoker spec. That looks kind of cool. That looks kind of unique and different. It's going to
Yeah.
come down to how they optimize it.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. Absolutely. Oh my god.
they're not doing anything to allay the issues with the evoker legendary drop rates, which I'm not surprised by. Like traditionally, they're just bad at dealing with that shit. It's
Yeah.
all RNG. Fuck you guys. Um, the mega dungeon, I'm not sure how to feel about that. You
I'm
know,
not either. I like new content. I'm excited because it's new content, but at the same point in time,
well,
uh,
if it's anything like the mega dungeon in Shadowlands, what the fuck was that thing called? I forget.
the failed market,
Tazavesh, the
Tazavesh, the
veiled
veiled
market.
market. Yeah.
Yeah. So if it's anything like that, um, I can be cautiously optimistic about it still. That was kind of cool. Like it was more difficult up front probably because my ass was like, hey guys, let's go do hard mode and spend 3 hours or 4 hours doing this shit. Yeah, that probably wasn't the smartest idea for me. But in general, like it seems like it could be a cool thing. The idea of oh look, it's time travel and dragons. That's always fun.
Time
Uh,
traveling
I, I,
dragons.
yeah, and you're seeing like there's a whole bunch of different time travel shit going on that could be really exciting in the coming patch. I'm not upset by that. I, I'm really not. The idea that we're gonna see like different dimensional characters, like oh well this is this character, but it's like if they were from a different dimension, so they're a little different, or now you're seeing their younger self and what have you. I think that's kind of cool. Uh, on the flip side, you know, you're releasing this mid patch. Probably I probably the only saving grace of it is the fact that it's being released mid patch in a patch where we changed the gearing system, so the gear may still wind up being relevant for at least some people. Um,
Yeah, yeah. That was one of my thoughts. Was like gear
yeah,
relevancy. How's the gear gonna?
like
It's a
traditionally that
mid. Yeah.
traditionally it would not be relevant at all for this entire fucking tier, right?
Yeah.
Unless there was like just some really weird niche trinket, it
Yep.
it probably wouldn't be relevant. Or something with a cantrip, because you're not going to be able to get anything out of your vault for it. Um, but but given that that's not the case, given that we can actually upgrade this shit now, it may wind up being at least a little bit relevant. The trinkets, I didn't see anything that stood out to me like, oh man, we've got to try this. This is going to be fucking amazing. No, I didn't see anything that really excited me there. That doesn't mean that there isn't anything there. It just means that
Right.
I didn't see it. Um, so that's definitely a possibility. There are a few items that's like, oh well, this has an affix and this has a little cantrip effect or something like that. They could be good. I really expect those to be more exciting next season, maybe. or the season after, when they'll probably wind up splitting it into 2 or 3 and sticking it into Mythic Plus or something like that. That's when I'm expecting that to be, kind of the cool thing. Uh, but they're also adding shit that really gives me pause. So kind of like, you know how I was kind of mixed on the Onyx Amulet before they buffed it?
Yep.
I'm like, you know what? This is too fucking niche.
Now they're
Like,
nerfing it.
like, like I like the concept, but it's like a mid. It's like towards the end of a patch, and then they buffed it, so now it's been like all the way until now. It's been great. Now they're gonna nerf the shit out of it. Um, it feels like that because they're adding things to these fucking things that are gonna be extremely niche, and I don't know if they're gonna take up stat budget. I don't know if they're gonna affect anything outside of the dungeon. I don't even know how they're going to affect things inside the dungeon. So they're adding stats like Time Strike and Dragon Bane, Scourge Bane, and it's like, that's a stat. What the fuck does that even mean? You know, I haven't heard anything about it other than the fact that it exists. So whether or not that's going to be this cool new thing that's going to be really impactful, that's something that I'm really getting kind of pissed at. It used to be when they released stuff, they did it and it was really impactful. Now it's kind of like, it's a thing, and we spent a bunch of time and effort on it, and it's not going to be impactful at all. Oh well, I guess we spent all this time on it. We clearly want people to do it. I guess we're going to have to buff the shit out of it to make it impactful,
Yep.
only to nerf it again later because then it's impactful enough that it's like the amulet. You know, they buffed the
It's
shit out of it. We got like a month or two of use out of it,
no
and it's
nerfing.
like, either they nerf it again or they
Mm-hmm.
let it ride. They decided to let it ride. That was probably a good decision, but it did bring back the same issues that we've always had. It's like, okay, yeah, but now like there's a bunch of people that can't get rid of the fucking thing, so there's no other
Yep.
gearing options. And and
Hello.
and we're running into that with other stuff too, with like the Derna ring.
Yep.
Um Fucking paladins can't get rid of that shit. If you were able to get it even on heroic level, like it is just a massive amount of your fucking damage. So that's kind of the thing that I'd be worried about with this content. It's exciting. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic, but it does feel like they go after these real niche things that that they could have just spent other kinds of development on. And if it turns out that this is impactful and fun, and that would be fucking great. I'm not betting my life on it.
No. And it seems like the mega dungeon's going to kind of be how the kind of how Tazavesh was in a way. Like the gear's going to be comparable to what you can get out of the raid, um, but it's kind of going to be more of a catch-up mechanic
Yeah,
than it will be actually impactful. Um,
I guess it's gonna depend at what level you get it.
until it gets
Like
the Mythic Plus with season 3, it's probably won't see a whole lot of it. I don't think.
I
That's just my
imagine
opinion.
I imagine you probably won't find it higher than a heroic level,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not a mythic dungeon, it's not mythic plus or anything like that. I imagine that it will probably come out as like a heroic level. Tasavesh was this really weird in between thing. They can't really do
Yeah.
that this time, because now they've got these weird ass tiers, and you can upgrade just as much as the tier lets you. I imagine it's going to be about a heroic level thing where you can upgrade it to maybe 441. And if that's the case, we may see some interesting play there. Um, I don't expect it's gonna be top tier gearing. I haven't seen anyone go, oh man, like Just so you guys know, this is going to be the best fucking thing ever, and you have to get it. I just haven't seen any of that. And I haven't seen anything that made me think, oh man, I've got to get my hands on that because that's going to just, it's going to be fucking tits on a duck, man.
Tits on a duck.
Yeah.
I
I
like
haven't
tits
seen
on a
anything
duck.
like that. Um, the
I love
daily
duck
should be kind
tits.
of cool. You know what is interesting about 10.1 that I haven't seen many people talk about? I think I saw one post on it, but uh, all this gear that we've been getting that is already at kind of a mythic level. So stuff that you're getting like out of your vault and stuff like that that's already like 441, 444, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to upgrade it to 447 using crests.
Oh, nice.
So and I am assuming, which is a dangerous thing because this is Blizzard, you know,
Yeah.
knock on your dick here because you don't know if it's gonna work this way or not. But I am assuming that it's gonna be retroactive. So
Yep.
you know you may have some pieces from Mythic Plus that you'll be able
That's
to
a
upgrade.
hell of an assumption.
It really is.
That is a hell of an assumption.
It
Hell
would
of an
be
assumption.
it would be fucking amazing if that is the case, and I believe that that's the way it would make sense to me. But you know, Blizzard's not big on fucking making sense.
No, we don't make sense. Yeah. Uh, got that going on. Uh, oh, here we go. All right, here's a thing on the wait now. Okay. Uh,
There's a bunch of changes coming up too.
yeah,
Um,
we got buffed.
we did.
Did we?
I mean, I'm mixed on it. It
Yeah.
feels like I, so I
Uh,
don't want to make it out like this isn't going to help. You know, there's a reason that we're at the bottom. The thing is, like, there's a reason we're at the bottom of the ladder, right?
yeah.
And
We're
it's
not
not because,
scaling as good as other classes. That's
yeah,
one thing.
it's literally a scaling issue because Blizzard
Mm-hmm.
has given us a shit tier set.
Yeah.
You know, and I
Very much
defended
so.
them for when I first saw it, and in all honesty, like on paper, I look at the tier set and I go, "Oh, okay, that looks kind of cool," and it does. It doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like it's going to change your play style any. It looks like something where, uh, in general, you're going to passively get some extra damage because you're going to be using kill shot more and all this other stuff. Then you look at it, it's like, okay, but kill shot's not really amazing. Like even with the damage increase from the tier set, it's kind of a crap ability. The only reason that you really use it is because it's instant and it's you know a little less focused than aim shot. Um, aim shot kicks its ass 10 days to Sunday. You look at it. It I think where it goes wrong and where I was wrong when I originally defended it is it's not necessarily about how good the tier set is in theory. It's about how good it is in relation to the last tier set. Like you shouldn't be running into situations where you don't want to get rid of your even just two piece on your last tier set because two piece is so powerful that it's a DPS loss to go with the new tier set. It's a DPS loss for me on full mythic tier set to go with the new tier set. You know, and that really shouldn't happen. It really shouldn't. Um, and I feel like the buffs that are coming down, it's like 10% buff to kill shot. Like you and I talked about this before. Between a 10% kill shot and a 10% aim shot buff, the aim shot buff is bigger. You know, I know people are like, no, it's 10% and 10%. Yeah,
Yeah.
it
That
is.
was my initial thought until you explained it
Yeah,
to me. Yeah. It was.
and I mean, 10% of 100 is 10. 10% of 150 is 15. I don't know what else to say there. You know, so uh, the aim shot buff is already bigger, and then you look at our 2 set from last tier, that's another 40% there. So you're double dipping on that. It Blizzard is basically we have this shitty tier set. The problem is scaling. It's not that we're in a place where we do bad damage or anything like that. It's literally scaling because our tier set was trash.
Because we're
If our
for
if
us
our
to
tier set
maximize our DPS, we're still having to run two piece, and
exactly.
that loss in item level there is just right there. The scaling difference is that's
Well,
setting us back a lot.
well, that and the fact that most classes like their tier set is just on par better.
Right.
Like once they reach 4 piece, it's just better. There are a couple exceptions here or there. I think Farrell's not doing so hot right now.
One druid class out of 4.
Yeah, that's fair. You're not wrong. Like one druid class out of one druid spec out of 4.
Yeah.
But so we're not the only ones affected by this. But when
No.
you look at it, it's like what they did was they took a look at the numbers and they went, okay, they're a little low. They didn't care about why we were low. So when they doubled down and buffed us in the way that they buffed us, that may give them the bump that they were looking at, but it's not fundamentally fixing the problem. And Blizzard has this tendency to do this all the time. They have a tendency to fix like the end goal, but not what made it a problem.
Yeah, it's I'm really curious to see what my Sims say today. Like it's just um, I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it just because like I just have got to a point where my Sims were showing for Mythic plus AOE damage that my 4 piece was better than running 2 piece.
Yeah.
Not by much, but it was a few hundred DPS upgrade according to my Sims to do AOE with 4 piece. But single target was still 2 piece for me. Which is what the majority of the raid is. Most of the raid is single target, so single target's been my focus.
Well, and how ridiculous is that too? You know that in order to maximize your DPS, you need to run the two set from the last tier and the 2 set from this tier.
It's horrible. It feels
And
bad.
having yeah, it feels like shit. And then people are looking at you like, oh man, your item level's a little low there, guy. It's like, yeah, I know.
No
I
shit.
know. I've
Yeah.
got 2 415 pieces that I can't fucking get rid of.
Exactly.
I've got 2 pieces that would get smoked by LFR
That's what I'm
today
saying.
if not for this shit.
I'm 436, right at 437 in my single target gear at the moment. I am
Same here.
I'm 441 in my AOE gear. That's a big difference.
It's a huge difference.
It really is. Like item level means so much in this game right now. Like it's.
And I've been looking at it. It's like, you know, I cannot give up my two piece going to a full 447. I mean a full 441 tier set from this tier. And I was I mean it's not by a little. It's by like 2000 DPS.
Yep.
So it's not a small thing. And I've been thinking about it. It's like, I was hoping that with this change where we're going to be able to upgrade things to 447, like I can get some stuff out of Mythic Plus, and I can upgrade it, and I can get it to 447. Maybe I'll finally get out of this shit and not feel like crap because I'm losing damage. But this buff may make it even harder to do that. It may make it where that's literally not possible.
Yeah, ooh. It's not a good buff. BM got kill shot increase. That's all BM got. So
yeah, which honestly, it needed. Not because I feel like BM just needs kill shot is not a mainstay of BM anymore. It's still a it's still an executability for them.
yeah,
They have undertuned the shit out of kill shot for multiple expansions now. It's still ridiculously undertuned.
it's not
And
nothing compared to like a warrior execute. It's
oh
not even
yeah,
close.
yeah.
But
Like our base level abilities on every fucking hunter spec are just significantly better than kill shot is. Even with the extra tier set damage, even with this buff, down the line, kill shot is just fucking garbage. It is, and
it needs to be rethought. It
yeah,
does.
I don't expect to see this go anywhere. Like
It,
kill shot is bigger for marksmen, and that's saying something because it's garbage for marksmen. And the only reason it's bigger for marksmen is because we have talents that actually interact with it. Our tier set interacts with it too, but even outside of our tier set, like we can get kill shot going up in the middle of the fight. We can get it to actually, do dot damage to multiple enemies. Like there are interactions there with kill shot. There really aren't with BM, I don't believe.
Not much.
And you know, when I run BM, and I basically only run it solo, but when I run BM and I'm getting off kill shots
Seriously.
that are like 18,000 damage, I'm like, ooh, 18,000. So I might hit 20,000 damage with it now. Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not exciting, and it's not going to change their place any at all. Like this is not what I would consider a tuning change. It just isn't. Not for them, not really for us. At least as far as the kill shot goes, it's just not it's not a reasonable change. And then the aim shot and the rapid fire that's fine. The aim shot buff, I don't want to sound ungrateful for it. It just doesn't fix the problem. It's not why we were low in performance to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
It further perpetuates the issue with our gearing now, and it doesn't actually fix anything.
Uh, yeah. But yeah, you're exactly right. There is not a single BM ability that is affected by kill shot. Not a single one.
Yeah, I mean it
There is nothing in the BM tree that has anything to do with kill shot.
yeah, I mean out of the 2 kill shots that they may get off in a fight, assuming that people aren't killing things ridiculously fast, like 10% of, 18,000 damage or whatever the fuck it is, like it's just not going to do anything.
That's
It,
ridiculous.
yeah, it's not a tuning change. I don't know what dude or chick, I want to be inclusive and all that. I don't know what person or lamp. I don't fucking know
It's a
anymore.
lamp. Yeah, it's a lamp.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I don't know what person or thing over there like pulled this out of their ass and were like, oh, I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna increase kill shot damage and not in PvP. Well, we can't even say it's a PvP thing because it's
No,
not because it
it's
doesn't
not.
affect
It
PvP.
doesn't affect PvP at all. Yes.
Yeah, and you know what? I get it. Like they don't want to shift more damage into kill command. That's fine. I understand. They don't want to shift more damage into Cobra Shot or something or Barb Shot. I don't know why they wouldn't,
Well, they don't
but
want it
like
to be more
I get
pet
that.
abilities either. That's the other thing
Yeah,
too. They don't want the pet doing more damage. I understand that too,
yeah.
but it's
Like I understand all that, but like this change does not. It kill shot is so fucking undertuned that they may. This isn't going to register as a blip in the data.
No, 10%'s nothing. It's literally nothing.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a lot more here. They really could have. They could have approached this in a smarter way. And really, they didn't do a whole lot either. Like, I mean, we've got classes coming up that are getting complete fucking overhauls. And maybe that's what they have in store for Hunter at some point. Maybe the point was that they just wanted to get us through and, like, not dick around it or anything, and then go, then, like, give us some kind of overhaul. And there's always a danger in that, too, because they're just as likely to make something completely fucking unplayable when they overhaul stuff. So
they love to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely irks me, and I'm not happy about it.
I can tell you're a little irked. Yeah.
Not happy about it.
Just looking over some of the other changes too. Blood DK got buffed again.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I mean, 6.5% again. Like they buffed them like what every couple of weeks. It seems like their blood DK's getting buffed and their damage. Havoc got some much needed buffs. It looks like. Feral 3% to all abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feral. You was talking about Feral earlier.
Yeah, they're making some changes. I'm not unhappy with the fact that they are doing these things. And some of them is it makes sense. Like, okay, well, this particular class or spec is just low, and we need to do that. And when you do that, like you don't necessarily go, all right, well, we're gonna buff them 50%. No, you do what they're doing. It's like, all right, we'll do 3% this week. Wait 2 or 3 weeks. All right, we'll do another 3%, and like build it up slowly over time until you reach your target. You don't want to over buff. You don't want to under buff. All the fun stuff. I'm actually really interested in what's happening with Mage. I am interested in the new Evoker spec coming, but I've always really enjoyed playing Mage, and particularly if they don't make any kind of move to give us a better tier set next season, if they don't go through shit to overhaul Hunter, something like that. If they don't do something, and I wind up really enjoying the mage changes, which I honestly could, because they're really interesting to me, I may wind up having to go mage.
There you go. Yeah,
I'm actually
it would be nice to find something like that.
I'm still surprised that you never really got into Shadow Priest. Like, I mean, you spent a lot of time with it, and you started getting into healing too. You also started messing around with your paladin, your druid again.
Yeah.
But I was a little disappointed that you went through all that, and then they changed Shadow in a way that really didn't necessarily work for you.
They just changed it in a way that didn't make it interesting. Does that sound better? It's not that it didn't work. It just I wasn't interested.
Yeah. Well, no, I get that.
They didn't change it enough to pique my interest. And then it was start of a new season, and I was kind of like, well, I really just need to focus on one character. I know Hunter. Stick with the Hunter.
Fuck around with.
That was pretty much my thinking.
Fuck around with another character later in the season, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's where I'm at now. I'm still debating on druid. I could still go back to my priest too. Um,
Yeah.
so those are a couple I'm thinking about. Dicking around with a bit later on here in a little while. Now that we've got AOTC and well, I mean I don't, but we do,
Well,
and
you
so
you will
I
this
will.
week.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Uh, and depending on where we go from here, I don't. We never take Mythic too seriously, even when we do go into Mythic. So, like, we'll probably get two or three bosses down in Mythic, and that'll probably be it. Uh, that's my expectation of it anyway. Um,
I think if we get up to
but yeah,
Z-Skarn, he's going to stomp us so hard that we don't.
they're nerfing him though. He's getting nerfed this week.
He is, and it's because so when he originally came out, there was a cheese strat. I don't even remember what it was, but our friend Tix Guild, he actually got to Z-Skarn, and then they nerfed the cheese strat, the cheese strat before they got to him. And he told me basically that this was the hardest mythic fight that he has ever progged.
I would
Ever.
believe it. It looks hard.
And a lot of what they're doing is, they're making some quality of life changes. They're also doing things that are trying to eliminate some of the RNG from the fight. And honestly, that's good. Like, I'm just thinking about our time in Heroic. Like, it was ridiculous in Heroic how much RNG there was.
Yes.
So, given that, the I can't imagine how ridiculous it was in Mythic.
I can imagine.
I don't want to.
No, I mean,
Hell, that was one of our only wipes this week. Well, we wipe a couple times there.
yeah, but we
Um,
wiped because we were dicking around. It's the main reason we wiped.
Honestly, that was as nice as it was to earn AOTC. Uh, the real fun that night, because we had so many people out, but the real fun that night was after that. We decided we still had a few people that are like, oh yeah, we're gonna go do Mythic now. It's like, really, we're gonna go do Mythic with 12 people? Okay. I don't know what to fucking tell you there. That ain't gonna happen.
This is why we
And
can't
there,
do Mythic.
yeah, there are some more people that are kind of wanting to get into Mythic, and it could happen at some point. I don't expect it anytime soon. Maybe in the next few weeks, we'll see what happens. But that aside, like after that, we all got together and we did an alt run of normal.
Oh
And
Lord.
Garrett was tanking on his 387 warrior.
Oh Jesus.
Uh, we we brought in Cube's what was it, 312 priest,
Oh Jesus
and
Christ.
and he was needless to say he was not doing well, but like that was kind of the point. Like he was waiting on somebody to say, all right, we can't have the 312 priest here. He was basically trolling, and Garrett was high as a fucking kite. He didn't fucking care. It took him a while to get to that point. Like that entire run, uh, most of us basically ignored mechanics because we came to the conclusion that Garrett was raid leading, and we weren't going to do anything unless he specifically told us to.
Jesus Christ.
You would have either loved it or hated it. I don't know which.
I depended on my mood probably. It would have
Yeah,
to
I mean,
depend on my mood.
honestly, we were dicking around the entire night,
How
and
far did you get?
we knocked it all out.
All of
We
normal?
did. Yeah, we
Wow.
knocked out all of normal.
Yeah,
And we
I
did.
knew this raid was under 10.
Well, no, I don't think it was under two. Like we had people there that were 440, and then we had people there that were Garrett like 387. So we had maybe three or four lower geared people. I was one of them on my druid. I was like 420 or something like that. Garrett was the lowest of us outside of Cube until he went and got his rogue instead. Uh, but honestly, that may have been the most fun that I've had rating this tier. It was absolutely a blast just fucking with Garrett and just jerking everybody around. I'm sorry that you missed it. It was fun.
Oh, it's all right. I was having a good time myself, so I can't
Oh, I
say
bet you were.
yeah. But yeah. Well, it's a good week. Raid was glad the raid went good. Um, so yeah, we got a lot more to dive into. We'll dive more into it next week. I think. Get ready for we've got holiday coming up next week, and so we'll be back on Monday next week for sure.
Yep.
And then you hit a milestone with your economic endeavors.
Yeah, I made my first gold cap this past week. So I invest so much back into my gold making, and then like into patterns, into being able to craft everything for the guild, into the guild itself, just like all the consumables and everything. I provide basically everything there. So it wasn't until this past week that I finally earned my first gold cap, and more than just my first gold cap. I think I started out the week at like 6.5 million, and ended it before I started reinvesting in all that stuff again at 13 million, and that was really exciting for me. That was really exciting.
Well,
But
congrats.
but but part of that was just Blizz finally coming around and doing the fucking enchanting and especially the inscription
The
quests.
inscription
But like
quest. Yeah.
fucking it only took them fucking forever. God damn.
I'm honestly kind of surprised. I was like, they didn't do this shit for so long. I was like, watch us get it back to back weeks. I was I was waiting on that. I was like,
Oh, that would have been fucking hilarious.
yeah, like
That would have been hilarious.
it just seems like a Blizzard thing to do. Um, yeah. That's one of the big things coming up in the patch. Cross realm trading.
Oh man. Like for the serious gold makers out there, that's fucking huge.
Cross realm fuck trading.
That's fucking
Like,
huge. I don't know how much you follow people that like literally what they do on WoW is make gold. But
nope.
one of the big things that people do is they'll something that is like truly cross realm is your pet tab. So
Yep.
you can learn a pet on one realm and then pull it out of your pet tab on another
Yeah,
and sell the pet on that realm.
I do know about
Um,
that. Yeah.
so that's always been big. Another big thing is people will make characters on another realm and then build up gold there, or they'll transfer a character over there, and they'll actually do it using Blizz Balance, WoW tokens and what have you, and then they will buy extremely rare transmogs for stupid cheap, and
Yeah.
then transfer back and say and sell them for just millions.
Yeah, it's
So
really going. It's really going. It could
yeah.
impact realm prices a lot. Like,
Oh, it absolutely will.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
imagine this. Imagine having a second account that you're on. Or imagine being able to send stuff in the mail back and forth between different realms. That would also be huge. Imagine just sending yourself, you know, 1,000,000 gold over to some other realm and buying like mythic BOEs at 10% of the price on your server and just sending them back and selling them. You know,
yeah.
uh, as a gold making tool, it's hard to it's hard to understate just what this could mean. And but it also it's kind of ironic because it also kind of calls into question the barriers that remain too, right?
Yeah.
So like the barriers that still remain are mostly trading between the factions outside of an instance. I don't even know if you'd be able to do it in the instance. I'm not sure. I assume that you can.
Yeah.
Queuing together is still
Queuing's still a no-no.
yeah,
Um,
queuing's a no-no. The ability to what the fuck is it? Um, the ability to fucking talk to each other. Like right now, I would hazard to guess up about 5 to 10% of my orders taken for crafted gear are from Horde. But in order to do that, they've got to jump onto an alliance tune and make the deal with me, and then go back over to the Horde and then deal with me by putting up the work order and all that. So, you know, I think Blizzard is trying to bring down all the walls. I think it's taking them some time because they have actual limitations in the software, like where they are actually having to unify systems and what have you. But you know, I think that's their end goal. I really do.
disconnect everything.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to know if like you know, if at some point down the line, it's not just factions. If maybe at some point we wind up without different servers, you know,
Uh,
and that would be fascinating too, because right now, uh, one of the things that's kind of unique about crafting in Dragonflight is that Blizzard wanted us to lean into the idea well, you know, you're on your server, right? So
yep.
you can build your reputation and then people come to you and you have an entire crafting presence there. It's like
Yeah.
at
That's a
some
big deal.
point, yeah, it is. But at some point, it if they begin removing barriers between servers, or if, for example, they decide to take like the crafting order system cross server, that would be huge.
It
And I don't know if we'd see profit margins soar or plummet. I would guess plummet. Um, I don't know that I would be upset. I don't know if I'd be pissed or what. Um, but they are double. I know people that have said, you know, that they're hoping that this crafting system doesn't carry over. I hope that at some point they make it better.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I want
but
it
I'm
made
enjoying.
better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but aside from making it better, maybe a little less RNG, maybe better thought out specializations, that kind of thing. Aside from that, like I'm actually pretty happy with it, and I think with the new patch with 10.1.5, we've gotten the hint that they're continuing along the same crafting track. So something that hasn't come up yet. They're bringing back more old recipes in 10.1.5 that were removed from the game. Did you know that?
No, I did not. No.
Yeah, a bunch of recipes, particularly those out of Naxxramas. There may be a few other instances too, but those out of Naxxramas, even like tier 3, like you should be able to do some stuff with that too. You'll be able to go farm Nax as it is now and get recipes from back in that in the classic era that are no longer around.
Huh.
And
Okay.
I think I think what it was interesting to a lot of gold makers is okay, this is a new market, and we'll be able to, like with the Zolgarub changes where they brought back a lot of those patterns, we'll be able to sell both the patterns, and we'll be able to sell the actual transmogs, we'll be able to make stuff, and we'll be able to make money, speculating and buying up the mats beforehand, all sorts of cool stuff like that. That's great. I haven't participated too much in that market. I have my hands full on other stuff. But one thing that I did notice is they have integrated the current crafting system and the work order system into that system. Now, I don't know that
Yeah.
that means that you'll have to do a work order in order to get these things or anything like that. But it says a whole lot that they're integrating old crafting recipes, even if they're old crafting recipes that they are bringing back to the game, into the current crafting system. I think it's more likely that over time we see everything unified into this
Yeah.
system than it is that we see this system go away.
That's what I was thinking too. Was my initial thought on that was like, well, think of the transmog possibilities too. Like they could literally
Yeah.
just they could work in, just like rank 1, rank 2, and rank 3 of these gears of the 5 or whatever. They could just have different color patterns, and people would want to collect every damn one of them. If they made it that way.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
that would be huge. I think. Well, and that wouldn't take Blizz any work to do really, because you literally just flipping colors around. Uh, I think that's something that Blizz could maybe look into doing to make those old recipes more relevant.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's something I think they would maybe consider doing. If they're out there listening, be a good way for it would be a good way for people to not only want to go back and get the old recipes, but people would want to learn them, and would it would open a whole new market.
It would also lock more and more people down in their professions too, when you think
Mm-hmm.
about it. Because when you think about it, you really have two kinds of people. You've got people that like had their profession since fucking classic and never changed because they had stuff in classic and they don't want to lose it.
Yep.
And a lot of times, if those people are also gold makers, like over the years, they've collected all this stuff. Those people are selling transmogs. Those people are selling mounts and pets and all this cool stuff that they can make. And then you've got people that every single expansion go, all right, well, this is my new main, and on my main, I have to have X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to drop whatever the fuck I have for X, Y, and Z. And then then they drop all their alts professions and they build everything around it, and they do it every fucking expansion. This might be an interesting way for people to be more incentivized not to do that.
I've been there. I do that pretty much every expansion. Yeah. I decide. I look at the guild. I look at you know what's going to benefit me, what's going to benefit the guild, things like that before I
Yeah,
usually pick my professions. But yeah, it's every expansion I'm on my main, I'm shifting it. I'm shifting professions. I have like
yeah,
I was one of the first to take in. I was the only inscriptionist in my guild back in Wrath when inscription come out. Like, so it was,
yeah.
I was pretty busy with inscription back then because glyphs were really important. I remember that,
Oh,
and
same. I kind of
and
missed that.
so I lots of interesting things that could happen. I mean, obviously that's just speculation, but and it's a lot coming up. Lots of
Yeah.
gold making opportunities. Like you said a couple weeks ago, it's still not too late. Like you can literally start a profession, and those talents are so front loaded, you can make money. Um, so
And
yeah, it's
it,
no reason
it
not to
happens
focus on
every fucking week that someone tells me that too.
it.
Like, I ruined my professions and like I'm never gonna catch up. It just seems like too much. We really need a reset. No, just deal with it. It's not that bad. It really isn't.
It's not. I'm with you. It's not that bad. Being with
You
you.
know, if you went files and then realized that or then realized that what you wanted to do was potions, go do potions. But trust me, you can make money with both.
Yep.
I don't know what to tell you. It's like I don't know of a way to not make money in this game.
Seems like
There
about
really
every
is.
profession's got some way to make money. That's one thing they've really
Oh
got going.
yeah, and honestly, most of them have multiple ways.
Yeah.
The big issue is that people they don't think about what they want to do beforehand, and when they do, they don't research and try and figure out what it's going to be. Okay, so they just kind of go, all right, well, uh, I I want to make my own bow, kind of like you did at the beginning of the expansion.
Yep.
Just using that as like a silly example, but I want to make my own bow, and it's like
Good move.
okay, and then they put like you know 30 points into the bestial patterns, and then they put like 30 points into like the very base mail thing that unlocks other avenues, and then like 10 points into inspiration. They're like, why can't I make a good bow? Okay, but you didn't build for that, did you? you know and
Yeah.
and and I still feel like a lot of that is Blizzard's fault. I do feel like they did an absolute garbage job of explaining any of this. You know, they didn't really explain uh they didn't explain the design behind it. They didn't explain what the stats do. They didn't explain how they interact. They didn't explain that like resourcefulness and inspiration don't do jack if you don't also take those skills in the profession so that it increases the amount that they do, not just the proc chance. There are all sorts of things that I can blame Blizzard for on this because Blizzard sucks and they did a shit job of explaining it. But some of this has to be on the players too because they just went herp derp. I'm gonna do the thing.
Yep. Do the thing.
No, that didn't work. This isn't your grandfather's profession system where you went and you clicked the button and then you spent 10,000 gold on the auction house and now you've got a max profession and you can make everything just as good as everybody else. No, this one you actually have to put some work in. You've got to think about what you're doing. You've got to pick what you're doing. You've got to. I mean, I don't know what else there is to say there. You know, there's there is an actual process to this one, and
Yep.
it's not meant to be done in a single day. Even as front loaded as it is, oh, it it just drives me nuts how many people still don't understand this profession system, and
And a lot of
there are
them
plenty.
just don't. A lot of people just don't want to put the effort into learning
Yeah,
it. That's the thing. A lot of people. The whole the whole instant gratification thing is like people expect to you know they think they should just be able to do the profession and they should be able to make whatever whenever at the max rank instantly. It's
well, like I said, the profession system isn't where it needs to be. Like Blizzard did add a whole bunch of obfuscation and RNG and extra shit into the profession system that ideally could have been different. They did, and there are layouts to some of these trees that you go, really? What crack level were you smoking here? Like, was this base level or was this like Uncle Twitchy's bathtub meth? Like I don't know which it was, but but you were on something. So there are things there that are wrong with it. I can't deny that, but
Yeah.
like it's nowhere near as bad as people make it out to be. People see the new thing and then they go, "Yeah, I'm not going to deal with that." Or they see the new thing and think, "Oh man, that looks cool. I'm going to deal with that." And then they make like one mistake, or they didn't actually read the fucking text, or
Yeah.
they
That
didn't
was
bother
me.
to look into any of it. Any combination of that, and then all of a sudden, nah, profession's garbage. They can't take this system forward. It's horrible. No, no, it's really not.
Yeah. That was me. That was me on the leatherworking there for most of the first patch. Was like, I just was like, man, I
I
fucked
remember.
up. I shouldn't, and I didn't want to fool with it. And you
Yeah,
got towards the end of the patch, you're like, look, if you do this and do this, you'll be ready by the time the next patch comes out, and you'll make a shit ton of gold.
I was
And
fucking right about it too.
and you were right. Yes, I'm.
And you weren't the only one either. Who was that chick? Irascible.
Yeah,
She's another guilty of ours. She was the same way. She also was into leatherworking. Seemed like we started out with like 12 leather workers, and then like Lee kind of half-assed kept his up. I came in late, and I'm almost as proficient as you are because you kind of fell off there for a little bit,
yeah,
and like you and I have mail covered. Lee kind of half-assed has leather covered.
yeah. I'm
Um,
digging into leather now. I'm slowly getting more into it. That's
same,
what I'm
same.
focusing on. So
Another thing that you really didn't like was skinning. Like
yeah,
you
no, I
absolutely
hated
could not
skinning.
imagine
I
making money
hated it.
with skinning.
Yeah, and Jesus Christ, the leather prices shot up so high. They're still high. Leather is
Yeah.
still good money. Like it
Well,
really
and
is.
and part of it is that they Blizzard has been banning bots, and you
Yeah,
can see that across the commodities market. Um, like fish in particular, fish right now are ridiculous
yeah.
because they
I
banned all
hate
those fishing
fishing, man.
bots. I'll tell you what though,
I
this
wish I
week in
had a
particular,
fishing bot.
This week
Huh?
in particular, the I the Isle Fin Dorado or whatever the fuck it's called, the greenfish.
Yeah,
That one's gonna be stupid. It's already at like 250 gold right now.
yeah. The, the fucking fish. Uh,
I mean, it's fucking fish, yeah, but like when
I
there's only
hate
20K
fishing.
on the market and you need them to make the fucking
Yeah,
barter brick quest item, and it's a time intensive thing, and you can't guarantee it, and it's like I I I understand it. I do.
I know, but it's fish.
Yeah, it's fish.
That's got to be the worst profession in the game. Like it's.
Uh,
I
s-
know,
s-
I
s-
know, I know people that love it. Like I really do. I know people that can log on to this game and just fish all day long.
I
Um,
can't. I mean,
no, I can't, but I know people that can. And
I used to really enjoy fishing, and honestly, the bots kind of killed that for me a little bit. Um, like I haven't done as much with gathering professions. I've made a lot of gold with them. Uh, this expansion, but I haven't done as much as I did in Shadowlands, and fishing has always been my least favorite of them. But it's never been bad. But the botting made it completely unprofitable too.
I
And
believe it.
now that it's not unprofitable, I think more people would be willing to do it. Apparently not though, because like the prices are staying high, and so the amounts on the auction house are staying low. So clearly I'm wrong there.
The worst profession in the game. It sucks to do. Oh my god, it's so boring.
It could be worse.
No, it's boring. It's so boring. Oh god.
You
All
know, I'm
right.
not saying it. You could say the same thing about like archaeology.
Yeah, but they didn't do anything with archaeology this patch, this expansion, which I'm still honestly kind of surprised about.
So am I.
I,
Kind
I
of a missed
was,
opportunity.
I think so. But definitely, at least as far as lore diving, I think they missed a lot of potential lore
Yeah,
stuff by not doing
yeah.
archaeology. That's something they really could have done. But all right, Mr. Misek, I think we made up for last week. Being
I
out,
think it's been a couple weeks. Shit, man.
you and your sickness.
Well, it wasn't my fault.
You had to go
Probably.
get sick. Yeah, no, it was probably your fault.
Well, I blame Garrett.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. Oh, but alrighty. Uh, we'll see what I can do as far as fixing the recording, and I'll get this up on YouTube as soon as possible. And all right, next Monday, back on track,
Yep. Looking forward to it.
back on time. Yep. Do. But all right, we'll be back next Monday.
Yep. We will catch you jerks later.